Okay. So one of the things I understood, James, is when you start it up, it should always be on full rev. Is that right?
No.
No?
Nope. We want to pull the choke. There are models that have a sticker here that say shut them off full throttle, but this model does not.
This one doesn't. Okay.
So, yeah.
Good to
choke
know.
for your cold start. Once it starts up, push your choke down to shut it off and let it run properly. When you're ready to mow, I usually leave my throttle about half throttle, pull the blades on, then turn it up the rest of the way so that the engine speed,
The load, yeah.
yeah, I can take it.
Yeah.
And it's basically more so by engine, and every one of them is adjusted a little differently. So you basically want the deck and the belts and the blades to take off like a Mack truck brake, just to kind of hiss sound and then take off. No jumping, humping, bumping,
Right.
banging, clanging
Makes
type
sense.
thing. And you can turn them off at any RPM, so it doesn't matter. It's just a 12-volt
Okay.
electric clutch. So versus a car where we would have a pedal and a linkage or a hydraulic sleeve cylinder to kind of engage the clutch, this is electric. It's turning on a light switch, so
yeah,
it slams
like a
it in.
PTO, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're running at full throttle and you're going out in 6 inches of grass, you put it down to 3, and you just wind it all the way up, pull the blades on, you're gonna just wear this thing out prematurely.
Okay.
So properly loading it would be to turn the blades on, set my height, then drive into the grass.
Right.
That way everything can have adequate time to take off. You're not biting down on the belts and
Yeah.
the drivetrain of it.
Okay.
So we'll push our pedal, move
Okay.
our selection to where we
The height.
like our height.
Ooh, wow.
Now feel free, if you're going around obstacles, roots and stuff, to use this pedal to mitigate your mow.
Right.
You will get better with time. So, you know, you may go and mow a section and go like that, and it looks real splotchy and you have to go back and touch it up.
Right.
But over time, you'll be able to get there.
Right, we've had zero turn before, so yeah, you're right. It takes, there's a learning curve there. And,
I always tell people, even though you're dealing with zero turns or you're dealing with tractors, always treat it as a new implement.
Right.
And start fresh, because number one, there could be different tire sizes that, you know, different settings, different everything. So we'll just treat it as new.
Okay.
And not assume that we know everything about it, because that's where we get into trouble.
Right. Yep.
When
Words to live
you're
by.
putting it away, I would implore that you put it all the way up. Now you do have anti-scalp wheels on the deck that are adjustable, and there should be a gauge on the front right here
Oh,
to
okay.
kind of mitigate or tell you what it actually accomplishes.
Right.
And you can change that over time or leave that, just depends on
Now
how high you
we
make
tend
it.
to cut low. We have what they call zoysia grass. So this is my neighbor Elzar. I'm Joe, and we
meet you.
kind of cut both our lawns with the one machine.
So it would probably be better off to put those anti-scalp wheels down to the lower settings,
Okay, yeah.
or the lowest if we could, because
Okay.
that'll mitigate, you know,
Yeah.
any kind of action against the ground. And if you're mowing lower, that'll give us a little bit more tolerance from the ground.
So James, appreciate that tip. So there's only 2 anti-scalp wheels on the
There
front,
might
right?
be a third one under the front.
Oh, there is. You're correct. Yeah. Okay. Good
yeah,
call.
that,
Yep.
that that keeps you from grabbing, you know,
Yeah,
things
digging.
low around on the deck and scalping as much.
Yep. Okay. Got it.
Information things that I've
Okay. Yeah,
got
what you're
from
saying makes sense.
The only thing I'm not fond about this tractor is the electric brake.
Yeah. So there's a complex process there. So if the machine's disabled and you need to tow it, it'll go through the process of what we need to do with the
So
brake.
yeah, you would turn the key on, fold your arms in. That takes the brake off. Provided
Okay.
you have battery juice. If you don't have battery juice, then you can't really take the brake off. You can do it manually, but there is a chance that you could break parts that are plastic
Okay.
to metal parts, and we don't want you to do that. So if you do have a jump box, you could put that on there under the battery, or compartment under the seat, and then dislodge the brake.
Jump it, yeah. So we, for example, I have a little 12-volt battery they use for like alarm systems. We could jump that in here if the battery were dead.
Yeah, it's just to turn off the brakes.
And then you would do
Push
what you
both
said
of
with the
these.
key here, right? Turn it on.
Push both of these in through the bulkhead, and that's your push to position, and that's not off.
Okay, it's not.
It's still dragging the brake.
Okay, so
It's not
they're
supposed
just
to growl.
resetting. Yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Now to drive, you just pick this up and pull it out. And it's spring loaded, so it'll push back out towards you.
Okay. all
If
right.
you're on a steep hill, you lose traction, you can't get the machine to
Yeah.
move, you don't want to tear up more grass, turn the machine off, jump off of it, push one in if you're on a steep hill,
Yeah, yeah.
because you don't want it to take off on you and run you over.
Right.
At least at this position, you can kind of slowly move it a little bit. You
Mhm.
don't want to push it or pull it with a vehicle with the transmission engaged, because you'll damage the internals. But if you're doing it manually, you can do that. Change your position,
Right.
pull your pin, hop back on it, start it up, and pull out. So,
Okay, so now you have them back in the normal run mode, and
Uh-huh.
once it's at that setting, James, all we got to do is treat it like normal on the
Correct.
start processing.
your drain for your oil is over here. To drain it thoroughly, just slide your zip tie back a little
Yeah.
bit. It's a little harder than
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
so, and then it'll come out here, take the plug out.
Right.
And filter is on this side in the front. If you have an empty quart container, you lay it on its side and take a cheese-shaped chunk,
Oh, yeah.
wedge out of the bottom corner. You slide it in underneath there and catch
That's a
your
good
oil and
tip,
filter.
Yeah, I like that.
Also, it helps out when you go to drain the oil filter. So I use a washer fluid jug because it's clear, and I have them after winter. I do my oil changes in the spring most of the time, but I can see the level in there. 2 quarts is your oil change on this.
Capacity.
So yeah, your capacity. So that's 1 gallon is 2 oil changes.
Mhm.
So I take the quart container, once I got the oil filter off and all my drips, I'll dip my finger in that, wipe the old oil on the new oil filter ring. Some people fill it up and spin it on. I'm a fan of that, filling it up to the inside of the threads and then leaving it set for a few minutes to soak into the cartridge. Then when you spin it on, you may lose a drop or 2 of oil, but you're gonna have that cartridge pre-soaked, so it's not running dry for any moment of time. Like your car, it takes that moment for the oil pressure to jump up. If you're doing this on that, just spinning that filter on, it's running dry for a moment. Smaller engine parts take more wear. So, you know, it doesn't.
Is that a fuel pump, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
So just make sure you're not raking against this. Over time, sometimes these things dry rot and break, and it doesn't want to pull fuel, and they split at the seams. Sometimes you can't see them, so just kind of check it every once in a
It's
while.
just the one on there, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Your fuel filter is right there.
Right. Easy access. Nice.
Again, one more point with that gallon jug and that quart container. You stand the quart container up in the gallon jug with the cap off, and you'll drain your oil remnants down into your gallon jug. Pinch the container and stand your oil filter up, and then you drain the rest of your filter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Good tip.
So,
Good trick. Air filters in here too. Oh, your battery. Yeah. Okay.
so
We got a cable.
your battery,
Undone.
yeah, it just
Convenient.
hooks into the side here. I'll get that taken care of for you in a second. Your fuses are right behind the battery here. A few
Okay,
fusible
so we have
lengths for the
two,
unit.
Two of them.
That's it.
And what's the fuse for there, James?
One will run your general engine, and then one will run your PTO.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
All right. So,
This is your solenoid. Again, your brake is right here. And if you pay attention into this slot, these rods control the mechanical portions back here.
oh, the drive.
But yeah, you can see the locomotion type motion that they take on when you fold those arms in. So that if you have to manually move it, you can slow and
Right,
easy.
wow.
I want to show you. Notice how it's a steel pin coming out of the motor. Then you got a plastic receiver that then again goes to a steel pin. So you got that
Nice.
intermediate portion. So be careful if you're unsetting it like that with no battery voltage, that you don't jam it forward and break those, because then you have to purchase the whole motor.
Okay, I think you addressed that one in the first moment we talked.
Yep,
Call
but
the phone
just-
number.
Yeah, just to reiterate,
Yeah.
you do have accessory plugs on here for lights and other things of that nature, and that's just already wired
Could we do
in.
a trickle charge on that?
I would hook that directly to the
Okay.
battery and go that route.
All right.
I'm not sure about backfeeding into that wire, but you might be able to call the mechanic and find out from him that that's okay.
Yeah.
And if that's okay, then go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to tell you something that may mislead you.
Right. Okay.
One thing I will tell you is do not drill into the frame body or cut into the wiring of the tractor or anything like that and try to alter anything, because they will void your warranty on it.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have a like little parts tray here. Right?
Yeah, use the exact match oil filter for this thing.
Okay.
What it calls for is what it calls for. And we've had instances where people have gone to parts stores and see it in a book, put it on that unit, and then blow their unit up. And then manufacturers, as soon as they come in and see that oil filter, they void the warranty immediately.
Right.
So
okay.
use what's recommended. I don't
Okay.
care if you order it offline, you come buy it through our store, you buy it from Home Depot, wherever you get the parts, make sure they are the Kohler or the Toro parts.
Okay.
And if you do the maintenance yourself, keep your receipts so that you have no issues.
Okay, with warranty.
Yeah.
Air filter?
Yeah, it's a 2-stage. Keep your wings open here.
2-stage.
You got the
Oh,
first
we got a
stage.
bonus with this.
Nice.
Yeah.
The first stage is your foam filter.
Yeah.
Make sure you keep that clean. It's going to pack on a lot of debris, and it is an oil bath filter if you can see the sheen on my finger.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So I generally, between oil changes, will take this thing off and clean it and wash it in Dawn dish liquid. Let it dry out thoroughly, put it back on this paper cartridge, and then hit it with some K&N air filter oil. Just to get me through to the 50. Yeah, so you already got that.
Yep.
I mean, that's what we do in service too. So if it's not real bad, we'll put some K&N air filter on it, oil on it, because people are in dustier conditions.
Yeah, do they make a K&N filter for this machine, do you know?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, probably
They
not.
do
yeah.
make the kits where you've got both filters in one, so if you just decide to do your 50-hour oil change, you're
No,
going
that's
to
the
do
way
it
to
yourself.
go. Two is better than one, I think. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Some people just buy this foam sock because this is still good.
Oh, yeah.
So then that's all they need is to replace that.
Right.
Hey, sometimes they get dilapidated and ripped and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But if you don't need the inner cartridge, you can just buy that foam sock.
Right.
Like I said, most people, when they do the oil change, they'll just get the kit, which is like a couple dollars cheaper, actually, to get both of them.
So model, is this a 2023 model? I mean, here we are in October of 2023.
I couldn't tell you.
Did it just come into your shop, do you know? Or
It says date of manufacture is 20 of 22, September of 22, so yeah, it'll be a 23.
Yep. Okay, good.
So,
Okay.
one thing I will tell you, you got your travel speed settings up here, your smart speed control.
Yeah, three settings, right?
Now, you can mow in any one of those three
Right.
settings, it's just fine. But I implore you to put it on that central setting for the tow mode if you're using a
Right,
trailer,
the
hauling
wagon,
mulch and
yeah.
stuff. That is the optimal position of the tensioner rack when that sets it all in. I have found over time with older belts and older machines, when people don't put it in that mode and they run them in either one of the other modes,
You have load on an older
smokes
belt.
the belt. Yeah, it smokes the belt, makes the belt smell like a vacuum cleaner belt smoking.
Okay.
So just be mindful that it is a machine. Don't have your fingers underneath of it when it's running,
Right.
but try to keep it clean. If you're going to wash it, have the engine running so that it doesn't short circuit the coils and give you a misfire or anything like that. Don't focus around the flywheel, around the carburetor area.
So is he capable of running then, James, without being on the seat? I mean, is there a seat cutoff switch or something?
It
or?
is, but the deck will not run,
Right,
but the
yeah.
engine will run as
Right.
long as the arms are out and the parking brakes
Right.
are.
Okay, good.
So yeah, if you got to stop and
about,
get something off of there.
So because it's a zero turn, I imagine when you're mowing and you go to stop and you do reverse, the blades won't cut out. They'll keep rotating. Is
Not
that
on
right?
this particular model. Some models do.
So they
this-
won't. It won't cut in reverse.
Oh no, it'll cut in reverse.
Oh, okay.
This
That's
one
what
will.
we want.
That's
Yeah.
what it says. Some particular
Yeah.
models you may have to
Yeah.
set the key switch and another little secondary button or something.
Okay.
Some of them cut out when you back up and then take off when you go back forward again. You know, some of them you have to push buttons and hold on to them while you back up. But for the most part, these don't have any of those settings on them.
Okay.
So it's just mow and go. And if you back over it and chew it up, it's your fault.
All right. Hey, Elzer, how about if we put some gas in it then? Let's get James to show us how to do that. I think the main thing is, you pointed out before, we don't go over this top level on this see-through gauge.
No, I mean, you want to fill it up to the level, but when you're mowing along, watch like trimmed bushes and stuff. I had a customer, he has a hillside and he bought a house. The bushes were trimmed prior to him buying it and had grown out. Well, he slid down up against it, and it had those trimmed pieces that actually popped a hole right through both the tank and the plastic side of it, and actually see the debris in the bottom of it.
Right.
So,
Okay. Yep, right to the bottom there. And have it click.
I just want to make sure that's all the correct information on All right, well now we get to the last parts of this thing, about starting it up and going. So again, I pull my throttle back.
Hold on, let's show him that. I want him to be right here. He'll be running it most.
Okay, so how we do?
Make sure the throttle's back. Pull our choke up. Crank the key once it starts. Shut the choke off.
This one has to be this way.
Yes, has to be out. Choke off. For now, we can leave it low throttle. Test it out. When you're confident, you feel good, let it wind up.
What speed's he at?
He's got it on rapid, but he's got it low throttle.
Oh, is there a seat adjustment on that?
Hold your arms out.
Hold your arms out. He's going to show you how to adjust the seat.
Stand up.
Stand up.
One thing I want to see real quick. Go ahead and shut that engine off for me.
Shut her off.
See. Other way.
I never do that.
I just wanted to make sure these were fairly even.
Yeah. Can you change the height of the...
You
The deck
can,
too?
by taking these bolts out,
No.
change them up and down,
That's
make
good.
them
Yeah.
comfortable
That's
to you.
good.
Yeah, I meant the height of the deck, Elzar. Can you reach the pedal here to raise and lower your...
Yeah.
Well, let's see you set it down to 2 or 3 or some 2.5. Go to 2.5. So you got to push all the way in first. Yep.
You push it all the way first.
Yeah. Yep. Then 2.5. Well, that's 2. 2.5 would be
I
on that
see.
side.
Oh.
I think that's where we've been cutting at.
Like I said, you might want to try a little higher just because
All right. 3.5.
different. I'd go 3.
3.
Yeah, because it might be a little bit of a different variation in
Yeah.
in tire size or something like that, and we don't want to look like we're scalping.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, go ahead and fold the arms back out and restart it.
So arms have to be out to start.
Yep. It may start without the choke, but I would probably just use it just to be safe.
Yeah. Good habit. Yeah. Is this one key that comes with it?
I believe so. It might be another set. Yeah, no, that's all they got.
This one. Okay.
Yeah, and all it is a regular lawn tractor key.
Right. Okay.
You got the old one from your other lawn tractor?
We might. Yeah.
They may be the same exact one.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, you can throw that throttle up full throttle.
Full throttle and go. Yep. All the way. All the way. And then when you want to cut, you got to pull this off. Yeah, that one. That's the top, yeah. Yeah.
But once he gets used to it,
He'll be good.
you
be
guys can stick it around. Now see, that looks pretty much, how long has it been since you mowed?
Probably about 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that would be as far down as I would mow it.
Yeah.
So, and that's 3 inches. We'd have mowed it down to 2.5, it'd be probably mowing 30.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't want that. Yeah, he'll get the hang of it.
Well, I'll get you a sign on the list.
Okay.